What's up, everyone? This is the Next Day Podcast, episode 161 with Mikel and
Tanyka.
where we have conversations on different topics. So it's Christmas, everybody.
It is.
Christmas in the year, the month of Christmas, to be fair. That kind of rhymed. I didn't realize I was rhyming. Um, so yeah. So we're doing our final Christmas episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tanyka will provide us with the topic of this special Christmas episode. Plus, if you want to watch our previous episodes, they're on there as well, including last year's and the year before that as well. So
yeah, we'll kind of run through what they were at the end. This one and vaguely the other one too.
Mm-hmm.
And when I talk about one of the movies that we talked about last year, you're not going to grunt and moan. So we're going to say that right now. But yeah, so this episode we're going to be talking about the true story of Santa Claus. That's what we're going to be talking about. Santa's coming to town, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So Santa Claus, otherwise known as Saint Nicholas or Kris Kringle, has a long history steeped in Christmas traditions. Today, he is thought of mainly as the jolly man in red who brings toys to good girls and boys on Christmas Eve, but his story stretches all the way back to the 3rd century, when Saint Nicholas, the actual Saint Nicholas, walked the earth and became the patron saint of children. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, his earliest origins, to shopping mall Santas of today, and discover how 2 New Yorkers, Clement Clark Moore and Thomas Nast, were major influences on the Santa Claus millions of children wait for each Christmas Eve nowadays. So, let's first talk about the legend of St. Nicholas, the real Santa Claus, like the real. The one who's dead. That's St. Nicholas.
No, there's a lot of people that are confused, and this is controversial. Is Santa Claus white or black?
Oh, God. Do we have to go through this? Santa Claus can be whatever you want him to be. Black, white, Asian, whatever. Who cares?
Exactly.
He could be green. I don't care. So the legend of Santa Claus can be traced back hundreds of years to a monk named Saint Nicholas. It is believed that Nicholas was born sometime around 280 AD in Patara near Myra in modern-day Turkey. Much admired for his piety and kindness, Saint Nicholas became the subject of many legends. It is said that he gave away all of his inherited wealth and traveled the countryside, helping the poor and sick. One of the best-known St. Nicholas stories is the time he saved 3 poor sisters from being sold into slavery or prostitution by their father, yikes, by providing them with a dowry so that they could be married. Over the course of many years, Nicholas's popularity spread and he became known as the protector of children and sailors. His feast day is celebrated on the anniversary of his death, which is December 6th. This was traditionally considered a lucky day to make large purchases or to get married. By the Renaissance, St. Nicholas was the most popular saint in Europe. Even after the Protestant Reformation, when the veneration of saints began to be discouraged, St. Nicholas maintained a positive reputation, especially in Holland. So, we're moving on now to Sinterklaas. So that's Sinter and then Claus, Klaas, comes to New York. So St. Nicholas made his first inroads into American popular culture towards the end of the 18th century. In December 1773 and again in 1774, a New York newspaper reported that groups of Dutch families had gathered to honor the anniversary of his death. The name Santa Claus evolved from Nick's Dutch nickname Sinterklaas, a shortened form of Saint Nicholas, Dutch for Saint Nicholas. In 1804, John Pintard, a member of the New York Historical Society, distributed woodcuts of St. Nicholas at the Society's annual meeting. The background of the engraving contains now familiar Santa images, including stockings filled with toys and fruit hung over a fireplace. In 1809, Washington Irving helps to popularize the Santa Claus stories when he referred to St. Nicholas as the patron saint of New York in his book, The History of New York. As his prominence grew, Santa Claus was described as everything from a rascal with a blue three-cornered hat, red waistcoat, and yellow stockings, to a man wearing a broad-brimmed hat and a huge pair of Flemish trunk hose, which I'm not too sure what that is. Shopping mall Santas. So gift giving, mainly centered around children, has been an important part of the Christmas celebration since the holiday's rejuvenation in the early 19th century. Stores began to advertise Christmas shopping in 1820, and by the 1840s, newspapers were creating separate sections for holiday advertisements, which often featured images of the newly popular Santa Claus. In 1841, thousands of children visited a Philadelphia shop to see a life-size Santa Claus model. It was only a matter of time before stores began to attract children and their parents with the lure of a peek at a live Santa Claus. In the early 1890s, the Salvation Army needed money to pay for the free Christmas meals they provided to needy families. They began dressing up unemployed men in Santa Claus suits and sending them into the streets of New York to solicit donations. Those familiar Salvation Army Santas have been ringing bells on the street corners of American cities ever since. Santa Claus movie, Miracle on 34th Street, which I love, a young Natalie Wood. So, sorry to bring down the house, but for those who don't know who Natalie Wood is, she was an actress who may or may not have been murdered while on the boat with her husband and Christopher Walken. Stay tuned, we will be talking about Natalie Wood in a separate episode. But back to Christmas. So
that went dark.
Sorry. Sorry, we can't talk. Sorry. As a true crime person, I cannot say the name Natalie Wood without bringing it dark. But anyways, so she was in Miracle on 34th Street, who believes Kris Kringle, played by Edmund Gwynn, who won an Oscar for the role, when he says he is the real Santa Claus. Miracle on 34th Street was remade in 1994 and starred Lord Richard Attenborough and Mara Wilson. That was Mara Wilson. Yeah, it was her. I love that movie. I never watched the original movie. I owned the remake.
Right.
It's such a good movie. Anyways. The Macy's Santa has appeared at almost every Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade since it began in 1924, and fans of all ages still line up to meet the Macy's Santa in New York City and at stores around the country where children can take pictures on Santa's lap and tell him what they want for Christmas. So let's talk about 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, which we have actually read that story on our first Christmas episode. So, in 1822, Clement Clark Moore, an Episcopal minister, wrote a long Christmas poem for his three daughters entitled An Account of a Visit from St. Nicholas, more popularly known as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Moore's poem, which he was initially hesitant to publish due to the frivolous nature of its subject, is largely responsible for our modern image of Santa Claus as a bright, jolly old elf, with a portly figure and the supernatural ability to ascend a chimney with a mere nod of his head. Although some of the Moor's imagery was probably borrowed from other sources, his poem helps popularize the now familiar image of a Santa Claus who flew from house to house on Christmas Eve in a miniature sleigh, led by 8 flying reindeer to leave presents for deserving children. An account of a visit from St. Nicholas created a new and immediately popular American icon. In 1881, political cartoonist Thomas Nast drew on Moore's poem to create the first likeness that matches our modern image of Santa Claus. His cartoon, which appeared in Harper's Weekly, depicted Santa as a rotund, cheerful man with a full white beard holding a sack laden with toys for lucky children. It is Nast who gave Santa his bright red suit trimmed with white fur, North Pole Workshop, elves, and his wife, Mrs. Claus. Santa Claus around the world. So we're going to change this up a little bit. 18th century America's Santa Claus was not the only St. Nicholas-inspired gift giver to make an appearance at Christmas time. There are similar figures in Christmas traditions around the world. Christ Kind, or Kris Kringle, was believed to deliver presents to well-behaved Swiss and German children, meaning Christ child. Christkind, or Christkind, is an angel-like figure often accompanied by St. Nicholas on his holiday missions. In Scandinavia, a jolly elf named Joltomitten was thought to deliver gifts in a sleigh drawn by goats. English legend explains that Father Christmas visits each home on Christmas Eve to fill children's stockings with holiday treats. Père Noël is responsible for filling the shoes of French children. In Italy, there is a story of a woman called La Befana, a kindly witch who rides a broomstick down the chimneys of Italian homes to deliver toys into the stockings of lucky children. Christmas traditions. So in the United States, Santa Claus is often depicted as flying from his home to home on Christmas Eve to deliver toys to children. He flies on his magic sleigh, led by his reindeer, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and the most famous reindeer of all, Rudolph. Santa enters each home through the chimney, which is why empty Christmas stockings, once empty socks, now often dedicated stockings made for the occasion, are hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. As Clement Clarke Moore wrote in his famous poem, "'Twas a Night for Christmas," stockings can be filled with candy canes and other treats or small toys. Santa Claus and his wife, Mrs. Claus, call the North Pole home, and children write letters to Santa and track Santa's progress around the world on Christmas Eve. Children often leave cookies and milk for Santa, or almond milk if Santa's lactose intolerant. But anyways, and carrots for his reindeer on Christmas Eve. Santa keeps a naughty list and a nice list to determine who deserves gifts on Christmas morning, and don't you worry, he does check it twice. And parents often invoke these lists as a way to ensure their children are on their best behavior. The lists are immortalized in the 1934 Christmas song, "Santa Claus is Coming to Town." As we know, he's making a list, checking it twice, trying to find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. And the creepier part of the song, he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. So, let's talk about Rudolph. Rudolph, the most famous reindeer of all, was born over 100 years after his 8 flying counterparts. The red-nosed Wonder was the creation of Robert L. May, a copywriter at the Montgomery Ward department store. In 1939, May wrote a Christmas-themed story poem to help bring holiday traffic into his store. Using a similar rhyme pattern to Moore's "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," May told the story of Rudolph, a young reindeer who was teased by the other deer because of his large, glowing red nose. But when Christmas Eve turned foggy and Santa worried that he wouldn't be able to deliver gifts that night, the former outcast saved Christmas by leading the sleigh by the light of his red nose. Rudolph's message: that given the opportunity, a liability can be turned into an asset, proved popular.
Wait, Rudolph talks?
Wait, what?
He talks? The way how you just Rudolph.
Have
he
you
talks?
not seen the show? Not seen the movie? He talks.
He made a statement in the news conference. Wow.
What?
The way how you said it.
Oh, okay, no. Rudolph meaning the story of Rudolph's message.
No.
That's
that's
what it's
okay.
meant.
It sounds like he was making a statement there. I was like, oh, shoot. This guy is talking and everything. Okay.
No, I mean, again, if we've seen the movie of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, yes, Rudolph talks. But no, that's not what this meant. It meant like the story, the message behind the story. That's what it meant.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
Montgomery Ward sold almost 2.5 million copies of the story in 1939. When it was reissued in 1946, the book sold over 3.5 million copies. Several years later, one of May's friends, Johnny Marks, wrote a short song based on Rudolph's story in 1949. It was recorded by Gene Autry and sold over 2 million copies. Since then, the story has been translated into 25 languages and been made into a television movie narrated by Burl Ives, which has charmed audiences every year since 1964. A movie that I have not watched since I was 12. But anyways, besides the point. But that is the story of Santa Claus and a ton others, but all ties with Santa.
So who is your favorite iteration of
Santa?
Santa Claus or Saint Nick?
Oh. Tim Allen, Santa Claus.
Yeah, I would say that too.
That's my favorite. I love him. Like I do. That has to be it for me. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been many in the past.
There has been many.
Yeah, Kurt Russell, David Harbour.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kurt Russell's really good too. Yeah, but that's more recent. In recent years.
And then you got Bad Santa, Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay, no. We're not.
I mean, if you want to.
I'm not. No. Billy, whatever the fuck his name is again. He is not even on my radar. Sorry. Not sorry. So.
It's funny though. He's funny. He's funny.
Don't get me wrong, but no.
Yeah. And then if you want to go old school, Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah, he was Santa Claus.
Really?
Yeah.
In what movie?
Let me see.
Like Leslie Nielsen, we're talking like
the guy that did Pink Panther and Naked Gun.
No. Okay, we talked about this. Leslie Nielsen was not in Pink Panther. You talked about this.
Oh, my bad.
He was in Airplane, Naked Gun, yes.
Naked Gun, yeah. I'm trying to look
and in Golden Girls. But anyways.
I'm trying to look at his stuff. It's like
I don't remember him playing Santa.
Oh, he played in an old movie called 2000 movie called Santa Who.
I don't remember that one.
And then All I Want for Christmas.
I don't remember that.
All I Want for Christmas in 1991. Oh, I think I remember this movie.
I don't remember the name of the guy who played Santa in Elf, because I really liked him too. I liked him.
Yeah, All I Want for Christmas. And then I think that's the only one. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
That was like not long before he passed away. When did he pass away?
1991.
Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah.
Oh no, you said the movies were the 1991.
The movie was 1991, yes.
Yeah, because he did not pass away in the 90s.
No, he did not. No, he was
No.
doing the
It was
movies.
in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2010.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And
He died the same year as one of the Golden Girls. I can't remember who died in 2010. Was it B. Arthur? Might have been B. Arthur. Oh my God. If it is B. Arthur. Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. B. Arthur. No, she died in 2009. Who died in 2010? Was it Rue McClanahan? I know someone died in 2010. Sorry. Yeah, it was Rue McClanahan.
Mm-hmm.
She played shoot. Oh my God. This is not cool. Okay, hold on. The Sophia, Dorothy, Rose. Oh my God. Why isn't it coming to me? Blanche. I'm fine. She played Blanche. No. Okay. Anyways, sorry. Because he was in Golden Girls. He was in last season of Golden Girls.
Okay.
He married Dorothy
in
the last season.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say Tim Allen. Tim Allen as well. He played the best one. I don't know who can be the face of that after him.
Not close. No one really comes close after that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, if you want to check all the Hallmark movies, and
no.
maybe they come close as well. Excuse me. So okay. All right. Okay. So I guess this ends this episode of the Next Tape podcast. This very, very Merry Christmas episode of the Next Tape podcast. The Next Tape podcast is available on podcast platforms. We also have a website called Tanyka.
Nexttakepodcast.podpage.io.
And where else we at?
Facebook and Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Next Take Pod.
And we also have a website called.
We did the website.
Sorry, my bad. Oh, jeez, mistake. Sorry, drinking too much eggnog, everybody. We also have a email called mikeltanyka@gmail.com. That is mikeltanyka@gmail.com. So, yeah, we talked about old Saint Nicholas and basically the history and little facts and pretty much our favorite actor version of Santa Claus or adaptation version of Santa Claus, and that's pretty much it. So this is the last episode of this year's Christmas series. Like me and Tanyka said, if you want to watch the previous episodes, what are the names of the previous episodes of this series?
Yeah, we did. Our first one was the history of the Christmas tree. We did the history of gift giving was the second one, and then this one being the true story of Santa Claus. And of course, we said that, and then we also had our previous ones from our first series that we did last year, which was movies. I was kind of talking about movies. We did Home Alone 1 and 2. We did Santa Claus, the Santa Claus. We did that one too.
Right.
And we also did do not audibly moan when I say this. We did Elf. So we did that as well. And then we also have our very first episode that we ever did, where we kind of just did like a hodgepodge of different things in the one episode. So those are all available if you want to listen to more Christmas. And this is our last episode of the year.
Yeah.
We'll be back with a 3-topic episode in the new year. We're back on January 5th.
Yep.
So we're starting earlier this year than we did last year, but we're starting on January 5th with a 3-topic, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that is it for this episode. I'm Mikel, and
And I'm Tanyka.
we're out until
January 5th.
January 5th. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, guys.
And Merry Christmas. Have a safe Christmas. Have fun. A safe New Year's. Wow. And we'll see you in 2026.
All right. Peace.
Bye.